Once again, welcome everybody to our regular Fast Facts Friday series with myself, Wayne Schmidt, and MC Carter from Practice Paradox. This is the first for 2014, and it's a little bit of an encore that were from a session we did late last year that was based on a blog that MC Carter did last year on how to get to gold status with Xero. So what we're going to do is be giving you basically some insider's tips from myself, 4 years working at Xero, and also from MC Carter's experience working with accounting firms in the industry as well. So a lot of practical experience. So, how do you get to gold status? So one of the first things is from an insider's perspective, now looking at it as an outsider's perspective, it's all about firm-wide adoption. You know, you've got to embrace it, not just one partner or one team member. You've got to embrace it as a firm. And it's all about firm-wide adoption. But to allow us to position this particular webinar, MC has got a quick poll we'd like to ask you on exactly where you are in your Xero journey. So if you could quickly answer that poll, it'll be really good. So on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll have a little poll. You'll be able to answer where you are, just to give it an indication. Great, so we've got that down. We've got 65% voted, 70%. This is great. It's a bit like polling day, isn't it? Vote 1 for Wayne, please. So, MC, do you want to just quickly, I'm going to throw it to you.
We'll close that poll off. We've had about 2/3 of everyone's voted. Close that poll and share the results. Cool. So you can see those results, Wayne? I can see them on my other screen. I'll just step through them. Well, I think everyone's in the right place today, in that 0% of those who answered the poll are at gold. 57% of those with us today live are at silver with their Xero status, 29% bronze, 14% just getting started with Xero, and 0% are at the point of not starting. So basically, 6 out of 10 are silver, and 3 out of 10 are bronze, Wayne, and no one at gold. So it should be a valuable session for everyone.
Good. At least we've got everybody in the right session today. That's fantastic. Always
All
good.
right.
So, MC, I think what we're going to do is it's really a little bit of an interview format today. It's a little bit different to what we traditionally do. Talk a little bit about this blog, why you brought it up, and your thinking behind it, and we can then go through some of the points.
Sure. And Wayne, if you see any good questions, I'm sure they're all good questions, but timely questions come through, just shout out and interrupt me. We'll go with the flow. These are pretty informal, our little Fast Facts webinars. Now, the background, everyone, on this blog post that today's webinar is based on is in the lead up to XeroCon in Australia last year, we launched a new version of our website. And as I was going through and adding, you know how you can have these little testimonial widgets? There's one on our homepage that has a little quote, the person's name, and they rotate through. And I was putting a person in, and then I thought, oh, they're a Xero Gold partner. It would probably be worthwhile mentioning that, particularly with XeroCon coming up. So then I entered the next person, and I went, they're Xero Gold partner as well, entered them. And then as I was entering all these different people, about 20 or so, I thought, actually, I think most of them are Xero Gold partners. So I went on to the Xero Gold partner directory listing, and it turned out that over 83% of them, whatever that number worked out to be, were already at gold, which really made me think, okay, interesting. Now, those results are kind of biased in that we do tend to attract the more innovative and tech-savvy people who want to kind of push the envelope with what accountants and bookkeepers are doing in this space. But I thought, what's the difference between someone who goes gold quickly, or at least steadily, and those that don't? And I started to jot my ideas down into Evernote. And if you're not yet using Evernote as a personal scrapbook and research accumulator of your ideas, highly recommend it, Evernote. It's on your phone, iPad, computer, and in the cloud. And anyway, so then I'm at XeroCon, and I'm listening to Rod Drury speak, and I'm sitting there with my laptop, literally on my lap. It's not often that a laptop fits on a lap, really. And I wrote this post out of those notes in Evernote, and I just thought, okay, well, what are the key points? And I just distilled them, and then we've had a really strong response from firms all around the world. Apparently, Wayne, I hear on the grapevine that within Xero, this was yammered out through your internal messaging system to all the account managers to say, hey, share this with your Xero partners.
It certainly was. Yeah, it went around. It actually went global. So this particular blog, I think even if you go onto Google and type "get into gold Xero," this is I think comes up straight away. So let's start through. We've got 10 items, so we might as well kick through.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. All right. So number one. I highly recommend you forge a really strong relationship with your Xero account manager for a couple of reasons. They are essentially have an excellent price as a consultant, namely free, and Xero are excellent at recruiting. Every senior account manager, or Sam, I think you guys call them, that I've ever met, has a fantastic background in the industry, usually, and they're very tech savvy. So I feel that they can bring a whole lot of value to the table just in conversations with them, let alone the different resources and the events that they can organise for you, and essentially ramp up your growth around Xero and by default for your accounting or bookkeeping business. And I do notice that firms tend to underutilise account managers, and I know as an accountant and bookkeeper you probably get a lot of calls from a lot of different account managers from different vendors. In this area, I think really take advantage and really do get to know your Xero account manager. Generally super switched on. Have you got anything to add to that, Wayne?
Oh yeah, look, but even in my days at Xero, look, the hiring process for account managers, they tended to either have to be, worked in the bookkeeping industry or worked in the accounting industry. They're all qualified accountants, and don't forget, their remit is to help you grow, and that's their life is based around helping you grow, which is great because they're not there in the traditional style of account managers, which is to come into your practice, try and sell something to your practice, and leave. They're there to work with your accounting practice and develop your accounting practice, business growth, and the implementation that you'll move into cloud. So, yeah, working with your account manager is number one.
And from our perspective, I feel we're a pretty good judge because we've used Xero ourselves ever since we started Paradox, and we are a 100% cloud-based business ourselves. So when we're in conversation with these account managers, we go, wow, they're on the money. So that's the first point. Next point is really, if you haven't already, wrap your head around and immerse yourself in the big picture why around cloud, around single ledger, and this whole app and add-on partner ecosystem, which is mind-blowing in its extensiveness and incredibly innovative. Some of the most innovative software developers going around to help businesses are basically Xero add-on partners. But the point of this second point in the blog post is really to, you've got to really feel deep down that this is one of the most exciting things to happen in business for a long time. And I feel if you don't think that, you probably just haven't thought it through. The whole idea of single ledger and for a business reducing duplicate data and having data flow from Xero as the core. And when you think about it, and this is Xero's strategy, obviously, accounting is just the start. It's really a business process platform with accounting data at its core. And you can pass data out to everything from your CRM to your marketing system to your data follow-up. It's just a wonderful thing. And if you're not excited about it, you're probably not going to go so well in promoting it. So do research, subscribe to blogs, read things like Box Free IT, Sholto McPherson's excellent blog. That's boxfreeit.com.au. That's about the cloud in general. And clearly subscribe to the Xero blog and get involved in really understanding this whole cloud single ledger space.
Yeah, I'd add a little bit to that about that whole big picture. Often people get accounting firms specifically saying, oh, well, we're going to the cloud, not too sure why. The reason why you're moving into it is because of dirty data files, It's if you're trying to drive efficiency and increase your productivity in your accounting firm, the only way you're going to do that is to get rid of data files. 25% of accounting firms lost billable time is trying to move the data from the desktop into your practice. You've got to resolve that problem. So you've got to move to the single ledger. That's just a reality because then you can increase your productivity. So it's very much firm-wide adoption, and then it's also the whole ecosystem. So yeah, good point. Understand the big picture of this, the true single ledger. I often get amused when you hear products that is one version on the desktop and there's another version in the cloud and then there's one in your office and you've got to sync them. Anything that you have to sync means that 99% of the time it's not synced. So to me, it's got to be real time. You've got to be doing real time that you don't have to sync, and that's the big picture. Let's keep moving along. We've got a lot to cover.
100% concur with that. Whenever I see an app that sinks, I just say, well, that stinks, because really, it's just going to break. The sync stinks. Okay, so that's point 2. Really understanding and becoming, a thought leader in this whole space. Now, more specific than the cloud, to Xero itself, really there is no substitute for rolling up your sleeves and getting to really understand an app and what it can do. So don't dabble. Dabblers don't really succeed in any field in life, do they? So essentially, if you're starting out, as I think 14% of you are, and most of you are on your way to Xero, if you don't feel that you're a master of what the app can do and in the context of how it can improve a business, well, that's one of the first places you need to start, is really to master that product knowledge. And we talk about you can only sell what you truly believe in, and you can only truly believe in what you fully understand.
My add-on to that is, you've got to get certification, go deep, make sure that, and it's not just dabble, it's, if you're an accounting practice, get a number of staff certified in Xero because you want that. And I know that Xero, and I think it might be just finishing now, but they were running certification online for free this month. So this video is recorded in January 2014. So they were running free online certification for Australia. So go and visit the website for that. Next step, number 4.
Cool. So if you could scroll point 4 to the top of the page for me, Wayne. You're the driver today. So clearly, once you understand it, you need to walk your talk and fully implement Xero in your own business. And as far as we're concerned, we can't see, as business owners ourselves at Paradox, we can't see any reason not to. The efficiencies we get, and frankly, for any business, we've got plenty of clients that have 90% plus of their clients just on monthly automated payments. The whole idea of accruing WIP, manually invoicing it, sending it out, chasing the payment. These days, you can choose in your business design, and you can help your clients do this too, depending on their business model. You can opt out of that. That's just busy work. That's shuffling paper and chasing money. You can automate all your data flows. Some of our clients are using tools where they can live in front of a prospective client in a meeting, do a proposal, a custom proposal right here and there. Click, 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 bang. That data, the client's information goes straight into their CRM and straight into Xero. It never needs to be rekeyed again. If you ever find yourself or any of your team members rekeying data, it's just a very good symptom that you haven't streamlined your systems. And I think Xero is a perfect place to start for that streamlining.
Yeah, my add-on to that is that, that's one of the things I think is probably quite unique in the Xero world, is that their partner program's free and they give you Xero. The best way to use Xero is to start using it in your practice. And for me, I'm thinking, straight away, if someone's going to give me the application, you start using it, reading it, it's going to be great. I love the next point. Sorry.
Now, to put this into context for you, at Paradox, we're working with the current Xero Partner of the Year in Australia, the Xero Partner of the Year from the year before, and the Xero Partner of the Year from the year before that. So we really have seen and helped firsthand what they do. And this point 5 is a crucial point. If you try to get familiar with dozens and dozens of add-on apps within the partner network, what are the chances of you truly mastering those? Pretty slim. However, if you decide on a particular target market and niche, and that's one of the fundamental tenets that we teach firms. Forget about differentiation as a strategy in your business, because most of what people call differentiation really is an attempt to say that you're better or the best compared to other firms, which no one believes that sort of talk. The whole idea is to position your firm uniquely, and a great way to do that is to focus on specific verticals or client types. One of the benefits from that is not just from a marketing message and cut-through perspective, but an operational one. For example, if you're focusing on IT-based business or trades or medical practices, whatever it might be, dozens of examples we could come up with there, all of a sudden, out of the, I think it's 300 plus last time I looked, Wayne, in terms of add-on apps that you can get with Xero, instead of having to become familiar with hundreds or many dozens, you can narrow that down to maybe 6, 8, 10 tops, and really get your head around those, and then document your recommended list of apps. Feature them on your website. Write blog posts about them. And if your website doesn't already have a blog, get one. Our view is your website should primarily be a blog in terms of the volume of content on there. And that way you can really add value. When you're talking to a prospective client, you're not just talking about the core of the bookkeeping, the tax, the compliance, but how are we going to make your business run better? How are we going to improve things for you, the overworked and overstressed business owner?
I suppose my add to that, I've been looking at the marketplace right now. So first of all, you need to be, again, attending all the Xero events. So the next Xero Roadshow, the February Roadshow, they've got an expo area there for all the major add-on partners. So it's really good to come to that. So you've got to go to those. Often people seem to cut their time and go, well, I'm just going to the last session. I'd be coming there early. And even if I'm not going to the sessions, I come get to the session early, an hour or so. And so you can network with those add-on partners while another session is running. I've been looking at this as well. So, Addon Success has decided to run out the first global online expo, basically, for add-on partners. And so we're addressing that need because 300 add-on partners, which one should you choose? Especially when you look at job costing, there's over 3 pages of job costing products. So if you go to addonsuccess.com and click on Learn, you'll read all about what we're doing there in that expo, and that's going to be running in May. So that's my little plug for that. Let's keep moving on. We've got a lot to cover still. Right on time,
cool.
MC.
And by the way, I'm keeping an eye on the questions, Wayne, as you are too. Not seeing any there, so feel free to send through questions, guys. So on point 6, which Wayne just touched on there about taking your clients to the Xero events, but in the short term, there's so many webinars that the guys put on. So in this blog post, again, to find this, just Google Xero Gold Partner Marketing Ideas and you'll find this post. Also another post, even though the survey before had 0% of you are at gold, 1/3 of you didn't complete the poll earlier. So if you're gold, we have another blog post that came out of our member support forum for our academy that we run, and it was a firm that had just gone gold and asked the question, okay, we're gold, so now what? How do we leverage that? So that's a separate blog post to this. But when you come to this one, and you can see the URL up there anyway, how to be and qualify as a Xero Gold Partner, it's got the links there to the Australian, New Zealand, US, UK, and also the global webinars. And by the way, on the global side of things, Paradox this year, just a quick aside if I could, Wayne, we're doing a series of 8 webinars across 8 months with Xero globally, with Johnny McAvoy's team, on marketing and a whole range of different topics showing examples and case studies. So I'll send out a link to everyone later about that. So a pretty easy thing to do, back to point 6, is just to promote to your clients, hey, I recommend you attend this Xero webinar. We'll be sitting in on it. Why don't you do that as well? And then you can write an article about it on your blog post, on your blog, and then put an article in your e-newsletter.
Which segues beautifully into your newsletter and blogging and tweeting, which you and I both love to do.
Yeah. About 5 years ago, I presented at a national technology conference for accountants in Australia, and one of the things I said was what I said earlier about your website. It doesn't just need a blog, it needs to primarily be a blog. And a very prominent website provider, one of their sales reps, came up to me afterwards and said, what are you talking about, MC? Why does an accounting firm or a bookkeeping firm need a blog? I said, well, inside my head I said, well, that speaks volumes, but I didn't say that. My mum taught me to be polite. But what I did say is this is where marketing is headed. Marketing is no longer a monologue of let's advertise and go blah, blah, this is how great we are. Instead of that monologue, it's now a dialogue. So blogging is a wonderful forum to put a post up there. And then, by the way, feel free to put your comments under that blog. You'll see an area for comments there. Same with social media. A lot of people are sitting on the fence or dabbling with social media. It's one of the most powerful publishing tools to get your content out there. So links to your own articles or just sharing other content that you think is good. The playing field has never been more level in the history of business. You as a 1-person business, 10-person business, 50-person business can compete with much larger competitors and actually have a better online digital social presence if you're savvy around this online media with tweeting. So whenever you do an article, and I was having a look on GrowthWise, who are a graduate of ours, and also A Squared Advisors, who are graduates, and I don't know, about 1 in 3 posts they do tend to be around technology, and here's a new feature in Xero. So put that on your blog. That gives it a permanent home that will help your search engine optimization, or your Google rankings for short, I suppose. Gives it a permanent home on the web. If you're doing articles and only pushing them out as an e-newsletter, you're underutilizing or under-leveraging that effort of writing that article. But also do tweet out links when you do your articles, and also put those same articles in your e-newsletter. But a quick tip, just do the headline, the image, and a lead paragraph, or say a summary of the article with a link to click that goes to the full article. That way, you can not only track the statistics, if you're using a proper email marketing tool, and another quick tip, if you're using Outlook to send out e-newsletters with PDF attachments, super old school, very bad for lots of reasons, doesn't look good, looks out of date, but you don't have good statistics, where something like MailChimp will tell you who opened it, who didn't, which links got clicked, which was what was popular, what wasn't. And if you go into the effort of doing an e-newsletter, that sort of feedback and data is incredibly useful. So make sure... yes, Wayne?
Sorry, no, I was just about to agree on you. Sorry.
You know, you're good. So make sure that you invest in design. All great businesses understand that design matters. You know, don't let you know, the intern or the work experience kid be in charge of how your logo or website or e-newsletter looks. Invest in using professional services, because you only have to invest once, and then it looks good permanently until you want to refresh it maybe in 2 or 3 years' time. So get blogging, get tweeting, and do those e-newsletter articles about different aspects of Xero. And one quick tip on that, if you're not already using screencasting, so screencasting where you record a video of what's on your screen and your voice, so like a quick tutorial, super easy way to create great content, because you can use something like Snagit, that's one word, or Camtasia or ScreenFlow, depending whether you're Windows or Mac. Record a little ScreenFlow, need only go for 30 seconds, 60 seconds. Upload that to your YouTube account, which again helps your Google rankings, because the second largest search engine in the world is not Yahoo, and we all know it's not Bing, it's YouTube. So you put it, I laugh how Microsoft advertises Bing. You've got to advertise to tell people to go use the search engine. Anyway, so you put it on YouTube, that helps with links back to your site, and then you embed that screencast into your blog post on your website. So that gives you 2 bites of the cherry in terms of creating traffic through to your website. So doing that, it's not difficult, and if you need tips on software or hardware around that, just let us know. So that's point 7 done.
Point 7, yeah, big fan of that. I'm learning so much from MC. And just a couple of things. So I changed my website this year so that the blog is now on the homepage. It means that my homepage is constantly changing, or else if your homepage isn't changing, then I go to it once, look at it and go, great, never have to go there again. To give you an indication, these are real numbers. So last year, it's my best ever month, I had 2,000 unique visitors. This month alone, I've had just over 4,000 visitors. But what was interesting is the quality of visitors. The best ever number of pages was 2,000 page views. So 2,000 people, basically, they looked at my website, went to the homepage and went, this is pretty boring, and left. So this month alone in January, and we still haven't finished, I've got just nearly 5,000 unique visitors. But what's more importantly, they've looked at 10,000 pages already. So they're going deeper, looking at the content. And so having your blog, and it's amazing what blogs you can be. You know, we've got one recently. We've got a new MD, and we've talked about shoes. Might be a little bit controversial in the wording we use there, but it has got a life of its own, and it's amazing. There's all different ways of doing it. We have, you know, MC does this as an out service, and you know, I just write as if you're right from the heart. That's my biggest thing I can say. Yeah,
don't sit on the fence and don't try to be vanilla. You're not doing a school or university assignment. You are wanting to express yourself and let your true personality come through, which for Wayne involves shoes. But anyway.
Yes, and it is, and it's so funny. To kid you not. And so we have, and you know, traditionally in probably my old employer, that would have been stripped away. And the reality is, hey, I like shoes. My MD, Alex Scott, she loves shoes as well, and so we're going to talk about it. And you know, it's funny how you start writing about that and it becomes our best read article. And so go for it.
I like shoes now, but I have to keep buying them for my growing children. But that's another thing. Okay, so you'll mention there of web traffic. If you don't know, as a business owner, what is your website traffic in terms of unique visitors, a term that Wayne used? What are your entry pages? What are the pages that people coming in on? What are they searching on to come to your site? What percentage of people are staying or bouncing, which is where they visit one page and leave? All this data is available to you. And marketing is just so numbers driven. It's got a lot in common, really, with bookkeeping and accounting. It's not so mysterious. You don't need a ponytail and be smoking anything in particular to be a marketing genius. It's just pragmatic. It's strategy. It's test, measure, and use that data that's available. Okay.
And be willing to learn and being willing to change. I rewrote my website over a weekend, actually, at the end of the year, because I looked at it and went, well, people are coming to my website and going to the homepage and then leaving. So then we realized that it was in the wrong context. People didn't understand, because I deal with accountants, bookkeepers, and developers. So we immediately changed the whole front of the website to go, who are you? So that we could point you in the right direction and put the right content in front of the right person.
Wayne, why don't we do one of these fast fact webinars on analytics around knowing what's actually happening with, for example, your website? Because most firms are spending 5,000 plus or minus 10, 15, some, but are you getting an ROI on that? So that'd be a good topic. There's a lot of practical details. Now, looking at my phone, I can see we've got a couple of minutes, so I'll keep going.
So we need to keep moving.
Start running your own webinars and client workshops. Now, I know that apparently that the number one fear in life is not death, but is public speaking. And as Seinfeld said, that means the guy at the funeral or the woman giving the eulogy would prefer to be in the box, which is kind of funny. But it's a great skill to go and learn, to be able to stand up in front of a group and present, even if it's only a few. Now, I used to have a massive fear, I'd literally lose sleep over having to stand in front of a group, which back then I defined as 3 or more people. But it is just like swimming. You can't learn it from reading a book. You've got to dive in, get wet, get a bit of water up your nostril occasionally, and just do it. It's an experiential thing, but I would say go get training. There's some great specialist teachers around public speaking. And if you want any specific names of that, drop me an email later, and I'll give you a couple of links. It's not to us. We don't focus in that area. We stay focused on helping you build a marketing machine, and we're like a content vending machine for accountants and bookkeepers. So do those webinars and workshops. And if you are doing workshops and you're not doing webinars, you're missing an opportunity, because you've already gone to the effort of putting together a presentation in terms of the flow, the content, maybe the slides, flip charts, whatever it might be. You can translate that same content into a webinar and reach people far more broadly than just your geographic catchment area, or maybe, depending on someone's lifestyle with their business, their children, whatever it might be, they couldn't come to your workshop. Time of day of the week didn't suit. Roll it out into a webinar. You'll pick up more people. You record the webinar, put on YouTube, put on your blog, rinse, repeat.
I agree with you, and that's what Addon Success does. So we've got Addon Success events, and we just run your event, because it's amazing when you see, especially accounting firms running events, and you've got partners and staff trying to organise the events. And I'm going, at your charge out rate, how are you actually doing any cost recovery on this? So that's a service. Do what you do really well, and that's what I love. Everybody knows me. I love being on stage, love running events. So we've now got Addon Success events. We've been rolling this out. It's now national. So if you're in any of the major capital cities, we can actually deliver the event for you. So you don't even have to worry about standing on the stage. We'll do that part of it as well for you. Let's keep moving. Yes. Do you mind, the audience, if we extend by 5 more minutes so that we can just cover off the last 2 points?
Yeah, it shan't take long.
So if everybody... Yeah.
Okay. All right, so point 9, in terms of the firms that really go gold rapidly, they do commit to a modus operandi in terms of, this is the way we work, new client, is if you want to work with us, we'll put you on to Xero. Now, that might sound extreme, and everything has a context. There may well be situations where certain business has a legacy reason that means that Xero is not appropriate for them, maybe. But in general, as a broad brushstroke, most small businesses, if they're on a desktop sinking, stinking version of an app, they may as well go to a 100% proper cloud-based solution to get all of those advantages. So, people really are silently begging to be led. They want advice. They don't want you to just be a little order taker, yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir. They actually want advice and direction, and this is one way, particularly if you believe it, you use it yourself, you live and breathe it. Say, look, we're going to put you on to Xero, and here's why. Bam. And 9 times out of 10 you'll get a yes.
You're right, so right. MC, one of the things I think I see it as is you are the trusted advisor. And remember, most people are held back because the accountant or the bookkeeper says we're just doing it this way. And so you have to change. They will go, look, to be honest, it's just a hammer. They want a new house. They don't care what hammer you're using to build a new house. Just give me a nice new house. So, you know, if you can, you've got to commit to say, look, so they want to be led. You only have to say, look, we're moving this product. It's called Xero. It's cloud. Data comes through. We can do real time. And by the way, you know, you can work on your iPhone. You can use Xero Touch. You've got an iOS version. You've got an Android version. You can do your payroll anywhere, anytime. They'll just go. Let's keep on to moving to 10 because I want to show a couple of little tricky little things.
Okay, sure. And we've touched on this, so this shouldn't take too long. In terms of upping the ante in your use of online marketing, and we've talked about blogging, social media, webinars, screencasts, search engine optimization. We haven't touched on landing pages. Wayne, note that that could be a topic in and of itself. In fact, is in the series I'm doing with Xero globally, we're doing one on landing pages, which are specific pages on your site designed to generate traffic based on very specific search terms and then convert them into subscribers on your database. But in it, we've done surveys over the years, and the number of respondents now is about 300 bookkeepers and accountants globally. Now, keep in mind, these figures are already biased upwards because they found our website. They Googled marketing for accountants, marketing for bookkeepers. But 7 out of 10 accountants and bookkeepers have never been formally trained in how to market and how to sell. And really, that is another way of saying they don't know, haven't formally learnt a structure and a process to communicate value. And the firms that learn how to communicate value, I saw a survey that Spotlight Reporting, Richard Francis out of New Zealand, did last year. A couple of questions just jumped out at me. One question was, do you want to do more value-added services for your clients outside of tax and compliance? 9 out of 10 said yes. Next question was, do you do a significant portion of your revenue through these services? 1 out of 10 said yes. So 9 want to, 1 does. And the difference is that that ability to communicate value and, you know, that 4-letter word, sell. Without that, you'll only be an order taker who'll be stuck on that compliance and commodity end of the service offerings.
Actually, MC, it's kind of like a theme on this. I'm going a little bit off topic. Give me 1 minute. I just want to, for the audience, we're just going to show you one thing that even out of today you could do straight away to get some change happening. So what I want you to do is go to 2 things. You're going to go to your website, your actual website, your company's website, and also the Xero website. And I want you to have a look at your Xero listing. And remember, the person looking at this listing is going to be a small business owner. First of all, they've already got Xero because that's why they're on the website. So you don't talk about so much about the Xero part. What you've got to talk about is what do you do, but more importantly, what do you do for them? So most people write this in the wrong context, especially on your website as well. How many times have you seen a website, MC, where they have the word we all through the website or through this listing, but they don't write it in the context of you. I've actually just done this recently for an accounting firm. We've actually written it, and it's very cheeky, and it's about to get published, and it says something along the lines of, yeah, a lot of accountants on this website. Which one do I choose? The one with the cute logo? I wonder if they wear a tie. Will I have to pay for the coffee? You know. And then we've spun it around as, you know, I wonder if they'll come out and visit me. I wonder if they charge me fixed fees. I wonder, and we've written it in that context. Just I think a couple of things, hints on these too. Crow Health, really congratulations, but you don't have any staff. So if you look at Change Accountants, I really love this. Change Accountants, Tim Munro up in Queensland. He was the first Gold Xero partner. They've done payroll specialised training. They're a member of the association. They've got staff, classics. They have an individual that you talk to instead of an info. No one likes dealing with info at. We all hate that. So Xero at Change Accountants. So they've got that. They've got a dedicated landing page, done their certifications, memberships, and all that. And the only thing is, I try and they've got, you know, a little bit more you in the context. Sorry, MC, I know I went a little bit over, but I just wanted to drop that.
No, that's cool.
In right at the end.
Yeah, Change are been a client of ours in terms of we came up with their name, their logo, designed their website, wrote the copy on their website, and wrote that listing. But that was a while ago.
And like, a bit like GrowthWise, I know GrowthWise is part of the Practice Paradox Marketing Academy, Steph Hines. You know, I love for a start, they're the only accounting firm I know that says kick-ass accountants. I love that.
Yeah, think, learn, grow, kick ass. That's their tagline.
So, and again, they're following all the right processes of, contacts and having team members, things like that. People buy from people, not logos. And I'll just throw back to your website.
Sure, and just to segue from that, good copywriting, so good writing on a web page, for example, is such a high leverage skill to either develop yourself, or if you don't have the aptitude, not everyone does. I can't sing, I can't dance, but I can write. So you harness those skills, you get someone to come in and write it for you. It's such high leverage because it's written once and it works for you thousands of times every month when you're getting good traffic through. So it's worth investing in.
MC, would you like to throw anything else before we end the webinar?
Yeah, just a mention of the LinkedIn group, that URL, that link you can see on screen there of bit.ly/paradoxlive redirects to the LinkedIn group. So if you haven't already joined that LinkedIn group, click the button, join it. After we go through and go, yep, you're in, feel free to ask questions about anything that comes to mind from today's discussion or anything about your growth and development around this space of new marketing and technology.
So, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank MC, first one for the year. Thank you so much. Always great. Love working with the MC. I want to thank our audience as well. Thank you. Lots of everybody was fully engaged today, so really cool. I think we've got all the questions. Once again, thank you so much. See you out and about at either the February Roadshow for Xero or XeroCon, or at one of the Paradox marketing events they run, or hopefully Addon Success can run your next event for you. We'd love to help you out. Anyway, see you out and about. Thank you, and it's goodbye from me.
And it's bye from him, I think.
And it's goodbye from him. Thank you. See you. Bye.
See you guys. Thanks, Wayne.